They say money reveals a person's true character. But for billionaire Arjun Mehta, money didn't just reveal, it tested the hearts of those around him. 4 women, 4 unlimited credit cards, and 1 unexpected heart that changed his life forever. You might think you already know how this story ends, but trust me, you don't. Arjun Mehta was not just rich, he was powerful. At 42, he had built an empire from scratch, owning luxury hotels, resorts, and tech companies across 3 continents. But lately, he felt something was missing: trust. People smiled when he entered the room, but he could see it in their eyes: the hunger, the calculation, the fake charm. He'd been betrayed before, by business partners, friends, even someone he once thought he would marry. So one cold evening in December, Arjun decided to do something outrageous. He called for 4 women, each playing a different role in his life. Priya, his glamorous girlfriend of 2 years. Nisha, his ambitious assistant. Kavya, his younger cousin, who often asked for financial help. And Mira, the quiet maid who cleaned his mansion every morning. When they all gathered in his grand living room, the air felt heavy with confusion. Arjun stood there, emotionless, holding 4 shiny black cards. Each one carried no spending limit. He said calmly, "Each of you will receive an unlimited card. For 1 month you can spend however you wish. At the end of the month, I'll see what each of you did with it, and then I'll decide something very important." The women exchanged glances, half in shock, half in excitement. Priya, the girlfriend, smiled instantly. She leaned forward and kissed him on the cheek. "You're testing me, aren't you, baby?" she said with a laugh. "Don't worry, I'll make you proud." Nisha, the assistant, kept her expression professional, but her eyes gleamed. "I'll use this responsibly, sir," she said, her tone sweet but sharp. Kavya, the cousin, squealed, "Oh my God, Baya, you're the best!" "I knew you'd never forget family." But Mira, the maid, froze. Her hands trembled. "Sir, I don't need this," she whispered. "I only clean. I don't know how to use a card like that." Arjun smiled slightly. "That's exactly why I want you to take it, Mira." And with that, he handed her the 4th card. Chayak 30. The month of truth. The next 30 days changed everything. Priya vanished into a whirl of shopping sprees. Paris, Milan, Dubai. Designer dresses, diamonds, private jets, luxury spas. Her social media flooded with captions like, "My man spoils me endlessly." Anisha started investing, or so she claimed. She used the card to host business parties, buy shares, and impress investors. She even began calling herself the brains behind Meta Enterprises. Kavya, the cousin, threw grand parties. She bought a new car, an apartment, and gifted her friends expensive gadgets. She told everyone, "My brother trusts me more than anyone else. We're family after all." But Mira, she used the card only once. She went to the nearby bank and withdrew a small amount of cash. Then she quietly disappeared for 3 days. When she returned, she went straight back to cleaning, silent as ever. 30 days later, Arjun called them all again. They gathered in the same room, though this time the energy was very different. Priya came draped in luxury, wearing a diamond necklace worth millions. Nisha had a new confidence, almost arrogant. Kavya looked exhausted but proud, scrolling through her phone as if waiting for applause. And Mira stood in the corner wearing the same old saree, her hands nervously clasped together. Arjun asked, "So tell me, what did each of you do?" Priya went first. "I wanted to experience life to the fullest, Arjun. You work so hard. I thought I should enjoy your success with you." Nisha followed. "I used your card to build opportunities, sir. I invested in business deals that could multiply your wealth. That's what loyalty looks like." Kavya laughed nervously. "Paya, I used it to make people proud of our family name. You know, show that we're successful." Arjun nodded slowly. Then his gaze turned to Mira. "And you, Mira." Her eyes filled with tears. "Sir, I didn't know what to do with something like that. So I took a little money, just enough to pay for my son's surgery. He was very sick, and I didn't want to bother you. The rest of the money, I returned to the bank. Here is the slip." She handed him a folded paper. Silence. Everyone looked stunned. Priya frowned, whispering, "Surgery?" Nisha rolled her eyes. "She used it for charity." Kavya muttered, "What a waste." But Arjun just stared at Mira, his throat tight, his vision blurring. His own parents had died when he was young because they couldn't afford medical treatment. That pain never left him. He took the slip, looked at it, and then slowly smiled. "Mira," he said softly, "you just passed the test no one else even understood. Sure, Act 5e. The decision," he turned toward the others. "You all used the card, but none of you used your heart." He walked up to Mira and handed her a new envelope. Inside was a key and a document. "This is for you. It's a new house, near your son's school, fully paid. And from today, you're not my maid. You're the new head of the Meta Foundation." Mira gasped. "Sir, I can't." "You can," Arjun interrupted gently. "Because only someone who knows pain understands compassion. I need people like you to lead this foundation. People who care more about others than about themselves." A tear streamed down her face. She fell to her knees, but Arjun helped her up. "You taught me something money never could," he said quietly. "You reminded me that kindness is the truest form of wealth." News spread fast. Priya left soon after, embarrassed and angry. Nisha tried to justify her actions, but Arjun replaced her with a new team. Kavya apologized, realizing how shallow she had become. But Mira, she changed not just her life, but many others. Under her leadership, the Meta Foundation built schools, provided free health care, and created jobs for hundreds of families. Her son grew up healthy, inspired by his mother's courage. And Arjun, he finally found peace. He still lived in a mansion, still signed billion-dollar deals, but every evening, he'd sit quietly and think of that day. The day a humble maid taught him the real value of giving. Sometimes, life gives us cards too, not credit cards, but choices. We can use them for ourselves or for others. And it's what we do with those choices that defines who we truly are. So remember, no matter how small your act of kindness seems, it could change someone's entire world. If this story touched your heart, please leave a comment below. Tell us what you would have done if you were given that unlimited card. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to Be Kind Always for more stories that remind us what truly matters in life. Because kindness is the only currency that never runs out.